Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am Jay-Zon, and today we've got a Division C East matchup for you guys. Wood League versus Winky Face. So I want to thank everybody for being patient. We are getting the lobby going right now, and we should be starting up this match in just a few moments. But before we do, let's take a look at Weenus's map tool here. I want to thank Weenus, as always, for making this cool tool for us to use this season. And we'll look at the map selections. Started off with Wood League winning the toss and electing map pick here, which will give first pick over to Winky Face. Let's see. Now let's see. I'm going to try and see if the teams will be willing to swap around for me a little bit, but. Either way, yeah, Wood League electing to ban out Battlefield of Eternity, Winky Face banning out Alterac Pass, and first map pick elected by Wood League is going to be Towers of Doom. So it's going to be where we're going for game number 1. And they're asking for a Twitch link. There it is. Happy to do it for these guys. As we await a few members of Wood League to shuffle on in. But yeah, Towers of Doom should be a pretty interesting map. We often see this saved until later in the series for a lot of teams, but makes me think Wood League's got maybe something of a strategy up their sleeves, especially if they're willing to take map picks specifically to start off the series with Towers of Doom, and you know, give up that coveted first pick that so many teams have been partial towards so far in the series. Also interesting to see Battlefield of Eternity and Alterac Pass bound out by both teams. Both very team fight heavy maps, very long, drawn out map objectives that end up with just a ton of zoning and team fighting. So neither team wanting to go towards that, and yet the first map pick is kind of similar in structure to how the map objectives go here with Towers of Doom. So we'll see how it works out for these guys. Should we get this going? I like the synergy over on the side of Winky Face. They've got all diva portraits except for B-Train. My man B-Train just ruining it for everybody. Feels train, man. But seriously though, been doing a great job as a caster. Did an excellent job on the Nexus Edge episode. Give a nice plug over to those guys that are working hard on Nexus Edge. I've had the privilege of editing that video the last couple weeks, and it has been pretty stupendous, the show these guys are putting on. So if you haven't seen that, head on over to the Nexus Gaming Series YouTube channel. You guys can find that at YouTube/C/Nexus Gaming Series. Check out all the content we got going on over there. It's been pretty cool what we've been putting together. One down, one to go. Getting so close. Mystic. How's it going, man? Yeah, everybody seems to love TOD. I think my team's pretty partial to it as well. So no shock to see it coming out here in terms of it actually appearing in the game is not surprising. I'm kind of surprised it's so early. But we'll see what Wood League has in store for Winky Face. Pretty big matchup coming out of Division C East. This is one of the games to watch for that we were talking about in our matches to watch out for. Both of these teams kind of in what I would say is fringe territory right now, 7 and 9 in the standings, but it's pretty early in the season, and both of these teams have only played 3 matches so far, where a lot of the teams have played 4 or 5 matches already. So the points can be a little bit deceiving. At the very least, we're looking at what looks like to be a pretty even matchup in terms of the actual win-loss records out of these teams so far. Alright, looks like we got everybody in lobby. Just gotta wait for everybody to hit those R buttons. And you know, I take that statement back. I was reading the wrong line there. Winky Face definitely with a little bit of an advantage in the win-loss column. 5-2, where Wood League is 2-4. So they definitely been showing a little bit of extra so far this season, have Winky Face. Mystic getting ready for their own game. Yeah, Calculated Throw's been doing some pretty cool stuff. Looks like you guys are on Murda's channel right before our match tonight. Murda with the double header. Now that should be another interesting game. But either way, we are going in here to game number 1. It is going to be Towers of Doom. And strap in, ladies and gentlemen, because we've got quite the matchup for you tonight. Winky Face, been a force to be reckoned with in C East this season. They've looked really good so far. We'll see if they can keep up their winning ways as they go against the very experienced Wood League. Of course, they've been around for quite a while. Both of these teams have, so should see quite a lot of good coordinated play. We'll see if what these teams want to prioritize in this first ban phase. We see sometimes these matches, the picks and bans, they evolve a little bit as the best of 3 series goes along. However, we've seen in these first series a lot more regularity. But as we start in on week 4, there is a good amount of scouting material out there and good tools to use it as well. So we might see some more specific bans. But right out the gate, both teams focusing on the tanks, which has been a theme of NGS Season 6 so far. I see quite a lot of early tank bans. Nubarak and Johanna taken out. Diablo, Garrosh also been lumped into these top bans, along with Anna, who's been just a terror in the Nexus. And as far as I know, has not been fixed. I believe Eye of Horus is still out at the moment. And there is the Anna ban. The real question is, are we going to get a Diva on the side of Winky Face? I don't know. Probably not, but I wouldn't hate it. And Rainer going to be banned out. So again, those, you know, the first 3 pretty meta, but that 4th one, the Rainer ban, definitely more of a specific ban out. Rainer's good, but he's not super strong in the meta. It lets Diablo through here. Let's see if Winky Face wants to jump on that train. Pun intended.
I heed the voice of Elune.
Instead, prioritizing the support, I'm going to go with Tyrande as the first pick. Now, of course, we've seen a lot of Tyrande Stukov here early in NGS, and Stukov has become more popular with Tyrande becoming more successful in the last couple of weeks in terms of win rate, but Azmodan and Diablo taking on the other side, so quite a lot of health over on Wood League. And there's B-Train picking up his patented Gul'dan along with Brickhouse on the Varian. So they're looking for more of a pick comp. This could be taunt into Lunar Flare with that mark coming out from Winky Face. So it could be an interesting strategy. You don't normally see Gul'dan as the choice for that kind of follow-up style, but he does deal quite a bit of damage, and B-Train is a beast on that hero. Meanwhile, on the other side, Azmodan has fallen off a little bit recently since the beginning of the season. He got a little bit of a rework to how his stacking goes. Makes him a little bit less powerful in the early game, which is already a weakness of his. Now we've seen his win rates just slowly decline since that adjustment. Diablo, though, of course, has been very, very powerful. And with Wood League already having their tank, they're going to go ahead and ban out the Garrosh to try and stifle the options for Winky Face. And Phoenix going to be banned out by Winky Face. Phoenix just a good all-around hero. We've been seeing a little bit of Phoenix here and there, and a little everywhere in the early season. And yeah, Gul'dan incoming, no kidding. And we will see Wood League now picking up Hanzo as well as Malthael. So a little bit of counter poke here with Hanzo and Azmodan. They're going to be pretty far back, most likely out of variant taunt range, but it's not 100% taunt variant yet. We'll see what else Winky Face wants here. If they get a regular tank, they can pivot into off-lane variant with either of the other two ults other than taunt, and they are going to go with Imperious. So again, still could go either way, though Imperious admittedly is more typically on the off-lane role, and the Tychus to round it out to kind of counter some of these high health pools from Wood League. Between Azmodan and Diablo, both of those Lords of Hell come with a massive amount of HP, and Tychus can get a lot of value with that minigun. And Lily to round it out for Wood League as the support. Going to be able to offer a little bit of blinds against the Tychus as well as the variant. The Imperious also does a decent amount of damage with those long basic attacks, but mostly going to be just a lot of healing, and there's not a whole lot of interrupts as far as cups goes. I think Grenade knocks her out of it, and then of course Taunt and the Spear and Lunar Flare. But those are like, if Alili's positioning well, those are going to be a little bit hard to hit. The first thing Alili would be doing, I would think, would be running away from Imperious when they pop that ult. As fast as her little fast feet will carry her. But either way, we are getting into the game number 1 here in the Seas Division. Winky Face, Wood League. Gonna go head to head. So let me know what you guys think in the chat. I'll try to glance over every now and then who's got this game number 1. Anyone for hashtag Winky Face? How about hashtag Wood League? As we load into Towers of Doom for game number 1. We'll go ahead and start out on the left here with the members of Wood League. Cavlor are going to be playing the Azmodan, J-Mac on Diablo, Droopy going to be playing the Hanzo, Running Idiot going to be on the Lily, and we'll have Korix on the Malthael. Meanwhile, on the right, with all the B-steps you could ever want to bring to a game, we've got Winky Face, X-Havoc going to be playing the Varian, VZ going to be on the Tyrande, B-Train on the Gul'dan, Brickhouse on Imperious, and Genzer are going to be on the Tychus. And in they come to the mid lane. We're going to have Imperious slipping out to the top, Malthael kind of dancing in between. And right away, the main focus from Wood League here is going to be trying to pick up those stacks on to Azmodan. Slight rotational advantage here for Wood League to start this off. Charge in from X-Havoc. I'm going to see a little bit of early aggression coming in from Wood League. You'd like to see them rotate back to mid, but right now they are doing the double soak. Clavier they're doing the double soak with Malthael. Clavier will have a little bit of a tough time getting as many stacks onto his Globe Quest that way. But we'll be able to catch a couple members there with that globe. Stacks up to 19 so far. X-Havoc taking quite a lot of damage on the other side. Meanwhile, up at the top lane, we've got Malthael versus Imperious to start things off. Malthael continuing to do that double soak. He is on a Pale Horse at level 1, so that's going to be a nice little advantage for him in this rotational battle. Meanwhile, Invasion coming in for Wood League. Camp is picked up just in time, though, for Winky Face. So they will be able to deny that invade and that gank attempt. But again, wave clear advantage early here to Winky Face, and an early game advantage in general until Varian hits that level 4 and is able to get his choice of whichever ult he wants, which is going to be Taunt. It's just kind of Wood League's game to run, but there it is, the level 4. The charge goes out onto J-Mac, but no Taunt to follow. Not exactly the hero you want, plus now X-Havoc incredibly low. Good counter damage coming in from Wood League, particularly from Droopy. You know, a lot of damage with that scatter arrow. But Cavlor continuing to put on the pressure with these globes early. Charge in. This time the taunt does go on to Diablo. Stun to follow, but Varian is going to regret the taunt there. We saw him forego the offer to taunt there the first time around. Second time he went in, did it, and that time he paid with his life. J-Mac trying to zone the members of Winky Face away. Genzer does come in and gets blinded. Droopy actually comes off of the cap to try and put a little bit of damage. Meanwhile, in the top, both are just going to trade out to start here. And just like that, we're going to see 4 coming off from each one, and both are going to rotate down. Positional advantage here for Wood League as Cavlor tries to get it capped, but again, the charge in. Imperious actually goes down after that spear. Taunt does go down onto the Malthael. He's getting very, very low, but he's going to be able to kite and run away. Meanwhile, the globe comes in, and X-Havoc will fall to Lily. And it looks like both teams are going to make a little bit of a reset out of this. Multiple members having tap available for Wood League. They're going to quickly tap and look to come back. J-Mac pretty low here. So he's now going to rotate out to cap. You'd like to see at least as many members as possible rotating out while 1 or 2 members stay to zone, but there were still 3 members of Winky Face up, and they do still end up rotating to grab that anyway. So big win there for Wood League to start off the match. Of course, Winky Face has still got plenty of time to come back from that 4-shot deficit. And yes, Grievance, all of the B-stepping. It really is. Meanwhile, we'll see yet again another invade attempt, but this time J-Mac is here on the point. They're going to toss around X-Havoc. Taunt goes down, but B-Train very low on the backside as they charge in. Arrows coming down. Globe comes in, and that is going to be the end of Gul'dan. And B-Train going to be stepping back to the Hall of Storms here for a little while. Meanwhile, double camp with Azmodan. X-Havoc in all kinds of trouble. That bell tower about to be converted in a big, big way. And this is the game Wood League wants. They want to be able to dominate the bottom. We saw that from the start with the Malthael double soak in the mid and top lanes. They sacrifice a little bit of XP there early to allow all 4 members to be bought. They cap the bottom one, and now they have everything they could ever want on this map to start. This is textbook Towers of Doom, and we can tell why Wood League wanted this map early. They took map pick, forgoed the first pick, and got this map to start off the series very strong. And they are playing the macro about as good as you can do it. Meanwhile, double altar spawning here in the top.
The time is now, heroes. Claim the altars.
Brickhouse charging in, does get the spear onto Korix. Good follow-up damage from B-Train as well. VZ gonna cap on the backside. Globe just barely too slow to interrupt VZ, and they will be able to get the 1 cap on the other side by Wood League, so it is going to be a 5-for-3 trade. Going to extend the lead just a little bit. Meanwhile, level 10's coming in. Arrow, APOC to follow. Varian will go down to the last rites. However, VZ able to make it out of that. So a lot of heroics traded just for the 1 kill, but you know, Wood League will take that, and they'll go to the bottom lane to look to defend here. B-Train got to be careful. He does step back a little bit. And for now, level 10's still a little bit of ways away here for Winky Face, but they'll have it in plenty of time for this next objective. And Towers of Doom, one of those maps where you can always come back. If you've got 1 core health left, you are still in the game on towers. But I will say this much. Wood League looking very, very strong to start this game off as they look to once again control the camp game here in the bot lane. J-Mac down here just zoning. Not really working too hard on forcing anything. Just kind of zoning the members of Winky Face back. Because you never know where all the other members are. Meanwhile, on the backside, Brickhouse trying to get something started here onto Korix, but he's going to get slowed. Does pop the ult, so going to negate a lot of that damage from that globe and all the other abilities. Meanwhile, the rest of the members of Winky Face stepping in, getting some damage, but now J-Mac comes in and will look to force, and they force the members of Winky Face back. Ton of damage coming in from the scatter arrow. Horrified, though, 3 members heading into the militarized zone, and just like that, J-Mac is going to live from the cups! And Droopy also going to live out of that. 3-member Horrified by B-Train gains 1 kill onto the Malthael when it could have been 3. But again, no interrupt for the Cups from Running Idiot. He is able to just keep them just alive enough. They'll be able to back up and get another 4 shots. Bell Tower converted, though, by the members of Winky Face, but I don't know. I think if you're Wood League, you'll give up that 1 kill in that scenario. That could have looked much worse. Charge in and taunt, this time onto Running Idiot, and there is the combo from Winky Face that they've been looking for all game. They're going to try and find the squishier members of Wood League to go after, isolate, and destroy this game. And they found one there. Taunt is up once again, so they could look to try and get a second target. Diablo comes in. Genzer's a little bit behind on the rotation. Didn't quite have the damage there instantly, but they do completely wreck Diablo's health, so he's going to have to go back. If nothing else, but that's probably not the result Winky Face was looking for on that exchange. And both these teams playing pretty well so far here in the early game. Wood League, of course, ahead on the core count, but I feel like Winky Face is really coming online. They get 13, and now they're going to look to invade. 4 members are here and ready to go. The arrow coming out very early, just a light stun there. Taunt going out onto J-Mac. Does get cleansed, though, from Running Idiot. Is it going to be enough? The Cups keep J-Mac alive on the other side. Korix looking to engage from the backside, but a Monster Fear coming in from B-Train. He is going to be able to take out the Imperious, or not the Imperious, the Malthael. Imperious is alive and well. Brickhouse is doing fine. But they're going to be able to cap. Speaking of Brickhouse, gets the cap. Taunt goes out onto Running Idiot once again. Good Lunar Flare to follow up, but the damage just going everywhere. I mean, it's a ton of damage, but it's split up pretty evenly. Again, Gul'dan does really great spread sustain damage, but doesn't do great spike damage. So they're able to pressure Wood League, but not able to find a kill off of that combo. A lot of the spike damage is going to come from Tychus and that minigun, along with the Lunar Flare and her trait, the vulnerability off of that combo there. Hunter's Mark, there we go. I knew I'd remember it eventually. J-Mac, though, can come in, find Genzer's. Bit of a face check there, but makes it out just fine. His team was with him. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, well, there's been a couple of those. Taunt does go down. Once again, excellent cleanse coming out from Running Idiot. The counter engage is here. APOC comes down, and the Horrify trying to zone, not finding anybody. This time it's going to be X-Havoc going down. Droopy healed at the last second, and again, the Cups are huge. And my goodness, Running Idiot doing an amazing job with the cleanses and the Cups. MVP so far in this early game here for or in the mid game so far for Wood League. And that's really the perfect last pick for Wood League here in this draft, as they were able to get a cleanse hero to counter these isolative tools. They read what Winky Face wanted, and they've been doing a great job of denying it so far, as now 16s are in. And the members of Wood League will look to cap bot. They do have top being started by Korix, but they'll rotate away from it. And now this is going to be a 16-14 fight. I don't think this is the fight that Winky Face wants. They're chasing him into this corridor, though. Genser's getting very low on the backside with the Odin, and Droopy comes in along with that huge globe from Claver. We'll be able to finish him off. Now X-Havoc is pretty far out. The stun comes in. Nice flip as well, as the last rites will be enough, and that's going to be a 2-for-0 exchange. Wood League once again asserting their dominance here, as on the backside Running Idiot will go ahead and cap those shots, and they're going to go ahead and pick up Boss as well off the back of this. Hanzo, of course, having pretty good burn on this as well. Just like that, 21-11 will be the final out of this exchange. 10-point lead, but the 16 is really the big story for the moment here on the side of Wood League. That 16 talent here giving them pretty much free reign of the map. I do like the camp grab there from Winky Face while the members of Wood League were up there doing the boss. We'll deny them the double push and maybe give them a shot at trying to defend this. Tychus is in the mid, and so right now Winky Face out in all 3 lanes trying to soak. They'll be down 4v3 here in the bot, and we'll have to be careful, but X-Havoc does get charged, but the flip not quite there to stall out his rotation away. Looks like the bell tower is going to get converted by those sappers. The charge in, though, huge damage onto Droopy, but once again, able to back out of that. But this time Running Idiot actually goes down before the cups can heal everybody away. Tyrande also going to end up falling on the other side along with the variant. So a 1-for-2 exchange for Wood League, as they are able to still get a positive result, but again, not completely positive. They do lose their healer, but I think it is going to end up preventing the members of Winky Face from being able to have at least an automatic good position here. And so it looks like B-Train flirting with the idea of going in there, but will end up backing out. Droopy going to go ahead and cap. And another 5 shots, as that bottom bell tower was captured during all of that mess. 21-6 left on the count. So another opportunity or 2 for Winky Face. The level 20s are going to be right around the corner here from Wood League. So the members of Winky Face are going to have to start to get into almost desperation mode here in terms of having to force something. Force some kind of engagement. And I like this call from Wood League. They're going to stay together as 5. They're going to... Well, no, they're actually going to send Malthael back out, maybe. But they're definitely staying in the area. They don't want to have anybody be caught out alone, isolated, taunted. They want everybody in range of Running Idiot so he can get that cleanse if needs be. Glove does come in, hitting a couple members, chunking that health down. And huge isolation there from the other side, from Wood League. But Diablo ends up going down as well. Not quite in range to get the heals from the cups there. But a lot of AoE damage coming out from Wood League. They're able to get multiple members of Winky Face low as B-Train gets hit by that huge globe and is going to have to back now. But big story there. Level 20s coming in now for the members of Wood League. They're going to be able to cap this down bot. And they're actually going to grab both of these. So it's going to force the members of Winky Face to have to defend against these points. They can't sit here forever. It looks like they're going to send Imperious down to defend. Couple members going over there, but They're going to cap on the back end of this as well. So this is a huge power play from the members of Wood League. And Brickhouse dies as J-Mac goes right into the militarized zone to try to isolate him out. And that is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 going over to Wood League. GG. Well played. Huh. Left score, right score isn't working. Well, that's strange. I wonder why that's... oh, there we go. Because I unchecked the box. Duh. And I want to apologize for the stat miss here. For some reason, I've had some kind of error in my game lately. I really need to reload or reinstall or something, because I've been missing the talents and the stats lately. But either way, great game there from both teams, back and forth. But Wood League ends up taking their map pick and getting a win with it. We're going to take a quick break and come back with the setup and execution here of game number 2. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Alright, we are back, and these teams are super quick on the turnaround. They are just about ready to go. Let's take a look at the updates on our map selections. The members of Winky Face electing for first pick. Wood League going to go ahead and pick up the second map pick so far this series, as they're going to take us to Tomb of the Spider Queen after winning on their first map pick. So we'll have to see if that works out for Wood League as well as it did in the first series. You can tell that they had a plan, and they executed it pretty well. Asmodan getting some good soak help with Malthael in those side lanes. Definitely good siege damage and wave clear in that bottom lane, enabling them to take that bell tower multiple times. But the one thing I really want to highlight from that game number 1, Wood League doing a very nice job of camp control in the bot lane. We see a lot of teams do that, and those sappers deal so much damage. And they did a very nice job of keeping control of that, and were able to win game number 1. Game number 2, much more wave clear oriented map than Towers of Doom. This one's all about the wave clear. Camps definitely not as important, with the possible exception of the boss in the top lane. So we see a lot of people on Tomb of the Spider Queen actually enable that top lane for push by trying to prioritize clearing or aiding the Web Weaver pushes in top for each side. We are going into game number 2. Wood League up 1-0 here over Winky Face. As we go on to their map pick once again, and Winky Face will have first pick once again. We saw prioritization on the tanks in terms of the bans coming out from each team. But we also saw Anna and Rainer banned out, so that should be a pretty interesting to see if that's what we continue to see or not. We did see B-Train playing the Gul'dan last game. He's very good on this map with his wave clear potential. So we'll have to see if he wants to go back to the well on that one. Something about Tomb makes it one of the most hated maps by GM players, says Phantom Puppy. The fact that it's all about wave clear and the camps don't matter. So once again, we're going to see Anna and Joe banned out here in the first rotations. Definitely a map where we see Johanna more highly prioritized than most other maps because of the wave clear, but she's just a good all-around tank right now. Her and Diablo definitely 1-2. I'll have to see if Winky Face wants to try to deny the Diablo this time around. They do have first pick, so they don't necessarily have to ban it out, but if they're not going to ban it, they may want to consider first picking it. Instead, they're going to target the Asmodan. We saw a lot of Asmodan bans in early, but as I said before, they seem to have nerfed him a little bit. He's been going down in popularity, but clearly Wood League utilizing him very effectively in the last map, and this is one of his most popular maps, so I do like that ban. But Wood League gonna stay with the same ban set. No shock there. As they did win game 1, you wouldn't expect them to make too many adjustments going into game 2 if they don't have to. It does leave Diablo and Tyrande open, so we'll see which one Winky Face wants to prioritize, or if they want to go with somebody else. They will take the Diablo. So now we'll see Diablo in the hands of X-Havoc. As Wood League now going to have 2 picks. They're going to steal away the Gul'dan, and that's got to drive B-Train crazy. As Garrosh going to be picked up. But B-Train actually not even blinking. He was ready for that. As we see Medivh coming out. So Medivh Diablo's a pretty interesting thing to have to deal with, especially on a smaller, heavy rotational map like Tomb of the Spider Queen, and Lucio coming out as well. So Winky Face should have a very strong rotational advantage in this game. The one thing I'm seeing right now is 3 heroes down, 2 to go. Almost no wave clear from Winky Face. So we'll have to see if they maybe want to pick up a little bit more of that on the back end. I can only imagine they will. Still having their solo lane and a damage dealer coming. Kael'thas going to be banned out for the side of Wood League, so wanting to deny one of the best wave clear heroes in the game after already taking out another one of those heroes in Gul'dan. I like that call. And now ban number 3 coming in for Winky Face. They've got a lot of options to ban here. The one thing they have that Wood League doesn't is a healer. So they may want to look to deny, and they will deny the Tyrande. Not interested in banning the Lily. I figure Lily was not the problem. Though I will say this much, those cleanses were very good at countering what Winky Face was doing. Winky Face not looking quite as heavy on the pick comp this time around, though. So I think they're probably safe from the Lily this time around. But instead, we're going to see Mouth coming out as the pickup for Wood League. So good sustain, able to feed a lot of mana. And then we're going to see Droopy once again on his Hanzo for game number 2. So I think it's a pretty good call. He played pretty well in game number 1. I didn't see the stats at the end, but seemed like he was dealing a lot of spread damage to really complement what Asmodan was doing. And so there's your wave clear. Lunara picked up by Winky Face, and then Malthael going to be stolen away this time by Winky Face, so that's not going to be available for Wood League, who has only a solo laner left to draft. Now Lunara, of course, does have pretty good wave clear, but it's not as strong before level 7. Splintered Spear gives her a lot. Level 4 being able to add the extra damage to the PvE aspect can do quite a lot. But we are going to see Rexxar coming out as the final pick for Wood League, so it's going to be an interesting solo lane matchup, Malthael versus Rexxar. I think Rexxar does win that overall. He's got really good wave clear. Malthael can heal a bit off the bear, but Rexxar being able to poke from the back end of that confrontation, I think will give Rexxar the advantage, but I guess we'll see. I'm going to learn a lot about that back and forth in this matchup. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing what goes on in the solo lane this time around. But overall, I like both drafts. I think Winky Face, once again, is... well, no, actually, not once again. I think Winky Face in this game is a little bit later game. You know, they definitely want to wait to be aggressive until those power spikes come in, where Diablo's got all of his souls, Medivh's got his stacks built up. Lunara just gets stronger and stronger as the game goes along. Every talent tier for her is a giant power spike. Level 4 is really big. Level 7 with Splintered Spear is huge. 13 gives her either really, really good additions to her slows or the shield. Level 16 Unfair Advantage is one of the strongest single talents in the game. But either way, we will be loading in here to game number 2, Tomb of the Spider Queen. On the left and up 1-0 in the series is Wood League. We've got J-Mac on the Garrosh. Running Idiot going to be on the Malfurion. Calvor is going to be on the Gul'dan. Droopy on his Hanzo. And Codex going to be playing Rexxar. On the right, Winky Face going to be Brickhouse on the Malthael. We're going to have B-Train flying up around in the Raven form here of Medivh. Genzer's going to be playing Lunara, X-Havoc on the Diablo, and VZ going to be playing the Lucio. By the way, Lucio getting a massive rework next week. It's up on the PTR. You guys should check it out as soon as we're done with this cast. We'll see Portal down, trying to help X-Havoc maybe escape out the bottom side there, but nice throw by J-Mac. Gonna put Rexxar, or gonna put Diablo in a corner. Nobody puts Rexxar in a corner. Brickhouse also very low to start off this matchup, so tragedy having to already use his tap. As both teams rotating up to the top after clearing mid there. Give you guys a look at these talents as well. Get things started. X-Havoc looking to come in from the backside. Running Idiot did see that flank coming, however. And for now, they're going to look to clear the lanes and rotate on down. B-Train, though, going to stick around just to pick up the last of that mid lane. Meanwhile, Brickhouse doing just fine down here after that tap. Getting plenty of heals and self-sustain in the lane. It'll be an interesting back and forth in terms of them trying to turn in, though. Rexxar are going to be very good at denying with Misha here. Malthael, no slouch, though. Has a lot of ranged poke ability himself. Meanwhile, standard affair here in the mid to top lane. Rotational, wave clear advantage early for Wood League, however. And the Gul'dan, just one of the strongest wave clear heroes around. He's going to deal a ton of damage. Hanzo also has pretty good wave clear, especially after level 4. B-Train giving Droopy a little okey doke there through the portals. Saying, no thank you, sir. I do not want an arrow to the knee or anywhere. We will see B-Train denying that first turn in. Up to 14 stacks already. So a good start on that. Groundbreaker does come out from J-Mac. B-Train safely back under his towers. Fly up into Raven Farm and continue taking a look here. But Droopy looking for the turn in. J-Mac had turned in earlier already. So now 21 in for Wood League to the 12 of Winky Face. And it looks like that was Brickhouse who actually tossed those gems in, as Camp is being attempted here by Korix. So now is Brickhouse going to push the issue? Could look to do that with Misha at about half health, but yeah, it looks like he is. He's going to go ahead and push the issue. Diablo's coming down though. Korix has got to be very careful. Does the spider sense tingling there? Let's sense it. And that's got to be bottom camp going over to the side of Winky Face. Meanwhile, 3 more dropped in there by Droopy. They definitely got the turn-in advantage right now. They do have enough gems to actually complete the turn-in. X-Havoc going to get tossed and rooted and CC'd in all kinds of ways, but B-Train there to deny a lot of that damage and the portal out to get him safely back to his side of the map. Meanwhile, big poison damage coming out onto B-Train there. Down in the bot lane, Brickhouse making good use of these stone throwers, these giants. Siege camp, whatever you want to call it. Misha just eating these shots. Meanwhile, Brickhouse going to take the opportunity to get another 5 turned in there. Korix actually has the rest of the turn in, so they're going to need to help him down here, as Malthael is going to look to deny that repeatedly. Korix actually rotating to the top to try and get the turn in. Is that going to fly? Yeah, it is going to fly. If you can see the portal just on the other side of that vent, so they didn't see it as they came through the portal. Rexar, sneaky Rexar with Calvor rotating to the bot. Good adjustment here from Wood League, as Rexar was going to have a ton of trouble clearing out that siege, so they rotate him to the top to get the turn in. Oh, meanwhile, isolation here on X-Havoc. He's got a lot of gems. He's got to be careful here, but huge force of will coming in from B-Train. Going to get him out of there. And to the tap with that level 1 talent. Going to give X-Havoc all the health he needs and more. Meanwhile, up at the top, Lunar is starting to clear. Actually, electing to go with the Nature's Calling as expected, but... Oh no, it is Splintered Spear. Okay, we got it. It's what you would expect on this map from Lunar. I take it back. I'm an avid Lunar player, but I do not have her icons memorized. So that's my bad. Meanwhile, we will see big siege by Wood League in the top lane. They're going to open this fort up quite a bit. You're going to get the well as well. And they did a lot of work in the mid lane also. Got both wells and both walls. Half the wall down in the bot lane. So decent results here from the first Web Weaver. Wood League taking advantage of their early wave clear potential. Getting that turn in. Slight XP lead still, though, for Winky Face. And just the 1 kill so far in this matchup right at the beginning onto X-Havoc. B-Train going to portal out, which, good thing, as B-Train sitting at 36 stacks. This is not the time you want to die if you're Medivh. Pretty much worst case scenario when you go down in this situation. Roots do come out. I'm actually going to see Genzers run into the roots. Trying to get some extra damage there. Level 10's coming in now for Winky Face. Still about half a level away is Wood League. And they don't have anything to really soak in the mid lane, so it's going to be difficult. No, but Genzer's doing a nice job or I should say, Droopy doing a nice job of poking out Genzers as trying to turn in there was Lunara. That, by the way, that scatter arrow just barely missed the wall as he was backtracking. If that thing hits the wall, Genzers gets completely annihilated. Droopy rotating to the bot, looking for Brickhouse, but Misha throwing the game. Not with the no charge there from Misha to stun out Brickhouse. X Havoc getting tossed in. Nice charge backwards though. In comes the Horrify. But Genzer is able to jump with that leaping strike down out to safety. APOC also used there, and both teams will walk away with a couple of heroics down and nothing really to show for it. Though you could argue Winky Face gets out of a bit of a tight spot there and has a little bit less on the cooldowns overall. Level 11 now for both teams is incredibly even, but J-Mac does get charged here, getting very low. We'll see the sound barrier coming out. Garrosh ends up falling to that last rights, but Brickhouse is going to end up falling from the scatter arrow on the other side. We also see Kavlor finishing the corruption, but on the other side, B-Train has finished his quest as well for those Q stacks. Meanwhile, Malfurion goes down, and X-Havoc trying to score the turn-in is going to end up somehow not getting hit by all of those arrows and Fell Flames and everything, and we're going to see the first set of Web Weavers coming out now for Winky Face. As they've got a nice push already going in the top lane. This top Web Weaver is going to end up coming directly, well, deep into the, I was going to say deep into the lane, but actually Kavlor does a very nice job of clearing that out in a hurry, and the rotation in from Woodley. 5-man rotation to the top lane. It's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see how it works out for him. Right now, X-Havoc in the bot lane aiding the push of this bot Web Weaver, and it looks like all 5 members are going to rotate in and meet in the mid. Charge in, but a toss in response. Horrified to zone the members of Winky Face away. X-Havoc, though, able to survive and portal out. And for right now, both teams are just going to walk away. Sound Barrier and Last Rites still available, though, on the side of Winky Face. But they're going to think better of it for right now, as their Web Weaver getting work done in bot will be able to take down the fort. And it will remain 2 for 2 on the kill count. And again, about a half-level lead here for the side of Winky Face, which is slowly going to start growing in bits and pieces here as the bottom fort falls. And that trickle XP gets a little bit nicer for Winky Face. J-Mac looking for the Groundbreaker, not quite able to find it, as level 10's now in for both teams. We'll go over these real quick, as it is Dragon Arrow along with Horrify, Twilight Dream, Summon Boars? Yeah, Unleash the Boars, along with the Warlord's Challenge for the side of Wood League. And over on Winky Face, we are going to see the Last Rites along with Polybomb, Apocalypse, Leaping Strike, and the Sound Barrier. But meanwhile, Camp picked up by Winky Face in the mid lane. Web Weaver's picked up on the other side, though, so we're going to see the members of Wood League looking to clear out this mid lane and maybe rotate to top. But they're going to find Winky Face here, rotating around. And it looks like for now they're just going to... They can't just leave Brickhouse here. That is not going to be functional for wave clear. They've got to have pretty much an all or nothing kind of defense. All 5 members are here for Wood League. And yep, Brickhouse is out as they clear the bottom, but the fort is going to fall. They missed just a couple of those ranged minions, but a big 4-man arrow on the backside there. Polybomb going to be passed by a couple of members. Double Leaping Strike onto Kavlor, but he is going to be able to survive just fine with that. Sound Barrier has also come out. Portal back for B-Train, and now Wood League on the march away. Misha, no. No, Misha. Bad Misha. Meanwhile, bottom lane, huge Web Weaver wave just going off into nowhere. But they do end up getting the bottom fort, so now all 3 forts down for the side of Winky Face in this push. the work of those first web weavers, finished by the second. Another turn-in almost available by Wood League. Winky Face is prepared with enough gems for their second. And still owning about the half-level lead. They've been both teams being pretty passive overall. We've seen them do a little bit of light engaging back and forth, but neither team hard committing. X-Havoc gonna charge and get the stun on the bear, but that's about it. As the zoning continues, and B-Train keeping an eye in the sky. Yeah, eye in the sky out for everybody. Brickhouse does come in here. The last right's not quite enough. A little bit too early onto J-Mac, and Mouthail's going to pay for it. Horrify also zoning the members of Winky Face away. Visa gets very low, has to back off. Sound Barrier just now coming off of cooldown, but X-Havoc is low. B-Train is going to look to give him the portal, but the stun is big, but not big enough. As X-Havoc will portal away, B-Train will go up into Raven form, but look at the count of gems, 60 of 60, and Wood League is going to be able to turn in right as that engage finishes. Give them a little bit of boost in XP to catch up a bit. Nice stall out as well. They stalled out a little bit, so they're able to pick up the bottom camp. They've got top camp pushing, and every lane is pushed in, so it's a big moment for Wood League to really be able to look to get some keep pressure. There's gonna be a big moment between whether this is gonna be possibly the beginning of the end of this game or a fantastic turnaround for Winky Face. We'll find out soon as they rotate into the bottom lane. Web Weaver's gonna come down pretty far in with these Siege Giants timed up pretty much perfectly, coming into the lane right behind them, so they got a lot of extra siege power here. Groundbreaker gonna zone the members and Winky Face back. Dragon Arrow is still available. All ults on both sides except for Apocalypse, which is now online. But the keep is just getting pounded here. Meanwhile, Brickhouse is up in the top, or up in the mid lane, I should say. Horrify does come out, not really finding its mark on anyone. And the mid and the bottom keep will end up going down. Top keep also got quite a wave to contend with up here. Brickhouse is on the case though. Meanwhile, Droopy gonna jump up over the wall to get a little extra pressure there. And this actually is still gonna get a lot of damage out onto this top keep. Core also under a little bit of pressure in the bot lane. Nothing that I think would actually really threaten it too much. But B-Train able to scout out and find the members of Wood League are not indeed on the boss. So I think for now they are good to let that go. Camp scouted out by the Wisp. They know that the members of Wood League are not here either. But they are hovering around it a bit, and they are going to get started with Nisha. X-Havoc looking to maybe engage a little bit, maybe try and take the bear out of the equation. But Nisha does get called back and healed up, and right now Wood League kind of toying with the idea of going in on this. They do get Nisha in on the point. The arrow comes in as well, but a big protected gonna deny quite a lot of that damage. Sound barrier also coming out. The bear also going down. So a lot of ults used by both sides, and it's only Nisha that suffers the wrath of all these different heroes. 3-3 though on the kill count now. And both teams again playing pretty passive. Not a whole lot of big, hard commitment team fights in this one. It's kind of been a battle of attrition back and forth, and oh my goodness, the Goldan wave clear at this point in the game. Just massive. APOC is available. Leaping Strike now coming online as well. One charge in the bank for Genzer. His taunt goes down. X-Havoc goes down just slightly faster than Garrosh does, but the Polybomb being passed around by members of Wood League. And Diablo gonna lose his souls and come back instantly. Meanwhile, a couple catapults hanging around here in the bot lane. Oh, but Brickhouse is gonna get found by Rexar. Korik's trying to get some damage out. The jump in, but Droopy ends up getting charged out of that, and X-Havoc just getting destroyed here. Does not have the souls to be able to dive in like that. That was a rough moment. VZ getting low, B-Train low. Lunara is up in the top lane. Genzers is looking to get these gems turned in, but will rotate out just in time. That's again probably the eye in the sky. Look at the gems right now on B-Train. 26 gems. Or 26, 76 is what I meant to say. Now 78. And still rising. It's been very good goaltending by Wood League. They've gotten, they traded turn-ins each on the first one, and then it's been 2 unanswered turn-ins since then for the members of Wood League. B-Train gonna find J-Mac hanging around. And of course, as Medivh, you can kind of pad your spray stats without any real penalty. Level 20 now in for Wood League. Should be interesting to see what they do with it. They definitely have the opportunity to push in and get this keep, but the defense is here for Winky Face. All 5 members looking to try and keep this alive. Genzers does end up eating that Groundbreaker, but the camp, Misha, and all the damage is on this keep, and it is going to end up going down here. Second keep of the game for Wood League, and only half of that top one left as they're going to rotate towards the boss. Are they going to start it? No, they're going to rotate in with this massive wave and look to maybe try and grab a third keep. This is a huge moment for Winky Face. They can look to engage on this, but Medivh is actually all the way down in the bot lane, turning in. 3-man, huge arrow coming in, and the Horrified not quite in far enough to isolate Diablo out, and that third keep is gonna end up falling. They do end up getting the turn in. A lot of poke in response to that light chasing. Cavlor dealing the damage with that corruption. So now, second turn in of the game going over to Winky Face. But at this point, they're mostly going to be just looking for clear here. Actually, I take it back. They're going to look to hard engage onto the members of Wood League. Nice throw there by J-Mac. Going to get Diablo out, away from the fight. But Cavlor does end up getting hit and now tossed back out of the fight. As Brickhouse getting very low on the other side. This huge, again, huge damage coming in from Wood League, just from both members of that backline range team. Misha out chasing and harassing the members of Winky Face is gonna end up falling here, I believe. So now Misha-less. You can see the members of Wood League back up and look to clear. Get that cleaned up before the top fork can fall. I like the call from Winky Face. They just weren't quite able to get any kills off of it at this stage in the game. And they're going to look to turn in a second time. B-Train having most of that, but Genzers does need to complete the turn in if they want it. And Horrify, stunned, rooted. But the sound barrier comes out, but X-Havoc is on the wrong end of this fight. Does get the force of will, but it's too little too late to try and get him out of that situation. Root on the backside as Genzers under pressure there from Running Idiot. And the portal out once again by Winky Face. They lose Diablo, but that's going to be all they're going to lose in this juncture. And it is going to be enough for Wood League to look to go boss here. And this might be desperation mode for Winky Face. They may have to try to engage this anyway. Polybomb is going to be up for this. And the question is, if the other members are going to get here, I think they have to take this fight. There's just no way that they could survive, I think. I mean, they're going to elect to turn in instead. We'll have to see if that is enough to keep this game going. Corinne rooting for Korix. Our Rexar player. So we will see the Webweaver dropping here in the top lane, which is really the priority. Mid and bot pushed out pretty far. The question is whether or not Woodleague can finish the game off of this top push. Corruption alone just decimating. Oh, meanwhile, all the way back in the backside, they're looking to engage behind this, but Lunara ends up being the first to fall. Polybomb being spread around by Rexar and Misha. Brickhouse very low on the backside. Mouthail is going to fall. Sound Barrier not quite in far enough in time to help him out. B-Train is going to be rooted and killed. And ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it. Woodleague now needs to only just right-click on the core to finish this one, as Woodleague going to end up taking the series 2-0 here. They finish it off on Tomb of the Spider Queen. GG. Well played. Very nice series coming out from Woodleague. And I actually got stats this time to prove it. I knew Droopy did a lot of damage in the first set, but holy cow, 95k hero damage, just dominating this game on Hanzo. Can't take anything away from Kavlor though. Ton of damage in the siege, ton of hero damage as well. Getting a lot of those finishes with that poison damage. Let's reach out and see if we can get an interview here with the team captain. We'll look to see if Kavlor would like to come talk to us a little bit. Let's also give Winky Face their second point. It's actually going to be 3 points going over to Winky Face. And I am joined by team captain for Woodleague, Kavlor. Congratulations on the win. How are you guys feeling right now?
Pretty good, thank you, thank you.
All right, so you guys you guys win the coin toss right out the gate. You guys elect to take us to that first map, Towers of Doom, and seem to have a very specific comp and strategy for it. Tell me a little bit about your guys' thought process with that and how you felt you executed.
We felt like we executed it pretty well. The comp is just about trying to control that bottom lane and knowing our rotations to win, to try and get those camps. And hopefully we have better rotations so that we can get to those camps and not get interrupted and we can get our rhythm going, which thankfully we really did in the beginning game, and it helped. They did catch up in the middle there and got their fort back and bottom and interrupted us a little bit, but we got our rhythm back, and it turned out pretty nice.
Yeah, speaking of getting your rhythm back, we're going to come back to that in a little bit, but I want to talk about this Game 2 comp as well. You guys end up in the draft taking away that patented Gul'dan from B-Train. Just a straight denial, or did you guys really also just want that on Tomb of the Spider Queen?
We don't particularly want Gul'dan in our normal comps, but I play Gul'dan well enough to say I'm comfortable taking it, but also it was just a form of denial. So if I don't have enough bans, so I might as well take it by choosing it. And it had really good wave clear, and Tomb, needs good wave clear.
Alright, Droopy on Hanzo in both games here. Very high damage, very effective. What is his major in college, and why is it geometry?
No idea what his actual major is, but he does play a a lot of good assassins, and these two particular maps, we felt Hanzo worked in what our strategy was. You know, Q build with wave clear, a good ultimate for engage or even disengage, and it worked out. So we were able to get him and lock that in.
All right, so getting back on the subject for my final question of you guys getting your groove back. 2-4 start. You guys get a big win over Winky Face, who had seemingly been doing pretty well so far in the season. How are you guys feeling around middle of the season, and how do you guys feel going towards the end of the season? What teams are you looking out for? How do you think you're going to do?
We're feeling a lot better. So I'm not sure if you know or anyone watching knows, but we had some roster shakeup the day before the season started. We had 3 previous members from Wood League that decided to leave with like a 24-hour notice. So I scrambled and said, hey, what can we get together? And we got some guys and said, let's give it a shot. And in the beginning of the season, just like you said, we started 0-2, and we're still working to get our groove and practice and play together and learn, you know, timings and synergies. But as we've gone by week, I think we've improved every single week, and how we feel and what our comp, you know, setups are going to be, and we're feeling pretty good about it. We felt that Winky Face was a top 2 team, so we tried to put a lot of research into heroes and what our strategy was going to be, and I guess it paid off because, you know, we won, but we have a lot of respect for those guys, and we did not take them lightly. We put the time in.
Yeah, clearly, definitely paid off. I want to congratulate you guys for a huge win and putting on a good show for us tonight. But before I let you go, do you have any shout-outs you'd like to make?
Just to J-Mac, he saved my life in that last game a couple of times in the garage. Also, Rexar turned out to work, and you know, there was a little discussion in our draft at the end about Blaze or Rexar, and I said go with Rexar, so it was a last second change, and you know, it worked. So I want to throw that out there. But also just to Droopy, J-Mac, Corix, these last minute add-ons to our roster, these guys have been great, so I'm glad to play some games with them.
All right, well, thanks for coming out. Thanks for the interview, and go enjoy it with your team, man. You guys earned it.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
You too. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it for me tonight in terms of casting, but I'm going to throw you guys over to Murda, who's going to be casting our match at 8:30 tonight. So it may not, the cast may not intersect with what he's got going on right now, but I think he is currently casting a match, so we'll go ahead and yeah, actually, I'll just check it real quick because, you know, I've got a computer and I can do that. Yeah, he's on Calculated Throw versus Zul'jin Distillery, and it looks like right now they are in the middle of Game 2, so I'm going to throw you guys over there. Quick shout-outs for me, though. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and playing and watching. This first few weeks in NGS has been incredibly fun for me personally. Being the new headcaster and getting to do all these cool projects. The teams I've been working with have been top-notch. The staff has been incredibly supportive. And most importantly, the players have just been, you know, loving a lot of what's been going on. And the energy is just so great in these first couple of weeks in NGS. It's been a pleasure. I want to thank everybody for this cool experience here in Season 6. And I just can't wait for more. I can't wait for the next match. I can't wait for the next cast, the next video project. All of that has been just amazing. So thanks to everybody. And that is going to be it for me tonight for casting. But for the Nexus Gaming Series, I am Jay Zahn, and we are going to see you guys next time. Have fun over on Murda's channel.